Hello everyone. Let us discuss the topic simplification of grammar. A context-free grammar can be simplified by eliminating epsilon productions, unit productions and useless symbol. So first of all we have to see here elimination of epsilon production. This epsilon production is known as null production also. The definition of epsilon production or null production is a production of the form A gives epsilon is called as a null production or epsilon production. The non-terminal which contains epsilon, then that non-terminal is called as nullable symbol. This is the definition of a epsilon production or null production. Let us see one example. Remove epsilon production from the following grammar. So see here, first of all we have to identify the nullable symbols from the given grammar. So see here, nullable symbols are the non-terminal which contains epsilon, that is the nullable symbols. For example, see here, A gives A or epsilon. Here non-terminal A contains epsilon. That's why a non-terminal A is a nullable symbol. See one more production. B gives B or epsilon. Here non-terminal B contains epsilon. That's why B is also a nullable symbol. So now we have to remove that nullable symbols from the given grammar. So first of all consider the starting non-terminal, the production of the starting non-terminal. See here, consider S gives A. Now see here, in this step we have to add the new productions by eliminating nullable symbols. First of all we have to write the productions of A. Then instead of A is a nullable symbol. So instead of this nullable symbol A, we have to put the epsilon. The remaining productions are B, A. Or here B is a nullable symbol also. So that here we replace the, instead of B we have to replace epsilon. So remaining productions are A. And third production is that A and B both are nullable symbols. So that instead of this A and B we have to put the epsilon, then the production will be A. In this way we have to add the new productions. Then consider next production, that is A gives A or epsilon. Here we have to remove this epsilon also, as well as we have to add the new productions like A gives AA. This epsilon will be removed here, and instead of this A is nullable symbol, so replace here epsilon. So remaining terminal symbol is A. Then consider next production, that is B gives B or epsilon. Here B is nullable symbol. So first of all write down the productions given. Instead of this B we have to replace the epsilon. Then what will be the remaining? B. So that the final grammar after removing the epsilon production is the final grammar after removing epsilon productions or null productions we get. First of all we have to write the starting non-terminal. S gives ABA or BA or AA or A. Next A gives AA or A and lastly B gives B or B. In this way we have to remove the nullable symbols from the given grammar. Let us consider one more example. See here, the second example is that if A gives A B, if S gives A gives small a, capital A or epsilon, and B gives small b, capital B or epsilon. So here first step is that identify the nullable symbols. So first of all, here the nullable symbols from the given grammar are nullable symbols. Which are nullable symbols? The nullable symbols are the symbols or the non-terminals which contains epsilon. So here A contains epsilon, that's why A is nullable symbol. Here B contains epsilon, that's why B is also a nullable symbol. Now see here, first of all we have to consider the starting non-terminal. S gives A B. Here we have to add new productions like A is a nullable symbol, that's why instead of this A we have to replace the epsilon, so that new production will be A implies S implies B. This is our new production. Then consider second production of, that is A gives A or epsilon. See here, A gives, first of all write down the first production, that is A. Here A is a nullable symbol, so instead of this A we have to replace epsilon, so remaining terminals, non-terminals are A. Instead, when we have to replace this A by epsilon, then again what will be the remaining? A. But this A will be already taken, so that there is no need to write down again and again. Okay, and lastly when we have to replace the epsilon instead of these two A's, then what will be the remaining? A is remaining. Next one, consider production of B. B gives B or epsilon. Here B gives B, keep as it is. Then B is nullable symbol. Instead of this B, first B, we have to replace epsilon. So what will be the remaining? B. Instead of last B, we have to replace the epsilon. What will be the remaining? B. But it is already taken. And instead of this 2B, we have to replace epsilon. What will be the remaining? B. So in this way, we have to remove the epsilon productions from the given grammar. Let us consider one more example. That is, S derives A, B, C, D or epsilon. Then A gives A, M, D or epsilon. B gives S, A, N or H, N or epsilon. C gives S, I or C, G, and D gives A, B, D or epsilon. Here we have to remove the epsilon productions from the given grammar. First of all, identify the nullable symbols. Nullable symbols. Here nullable symbols are S non-terminal or starting non-terminal S contains epsilon, that's why S is a nullable symbol. Then A non-terminal A contains epsilon, that's why A is also nullable symbol. Non-terminal B contains epsilon, so B is also nullable symbol. Then here C cannot contain the epsilon, that's why C is not a nullable symbol. Then non-terminal D contains epsilon, that's why D is also a nullable symbol. So here S, A, B, D are the nullable symbols. Now we have to remove that nullable symbols from the given grammar. So first of all, consider the productions of a starting non-terminal, that is S. What are the productions? A, B, C, D or epsilon. Okay. Now we have to remove that epsilon by adding new productions. How to add the new productions? First of all, we have to write the given productions A, B, C, D here. Now, see here. First of all, check A is a nullable symbol. That's why instead of this A, we have to replace the epsilon. So, what will be the remaining production? A, capital B, small b, capital C, capital D. Okay. After that, B is also a nullable symbol. Instead of this B, we have to replace epsilon. Yes, A, B, C, D. Or here A and B are also a nullable symbols. So instead of this A and B, we have to replace epsilon. What will be the remaining? A, B, C, D. Okay. In next production, C is not a nullable symbol. So that's why here we can't replace C by epsilon. But D is a nullable symbols. So instead of this A, D, we have to replace the epsilon. So what will be the productions? A, B, C. And last production is that when we have to replace the epsilon instead of A, B and D, the remaining productions will be A, B, C. Okay. A, small b and capital C. In this way, we have to remove the nullable symbols or epsilon productions from the given grammar. Now, consider second production, that is A gives AMD or epsilon. Here A is nullable symbol. So, write down production of A as it is, and A is nullable symbol. That's why instead of A, we have to replace the epsilon. Then what will be the remaining? M, D will be remaining. Okay. Now, see here. Next production, consider the production of B. B gives capital S, A, small n, small h, n or epsilon. Now see here, B gives S, A, N, H, N. Now here S is a nullable symbol. Okay, see here, S is a nullable symbol. So instead of this S, we have to replace epsilon. So what will be the remaining? A, N. Next, A is also nullable symbol. So instead of this A, we have to replace epsilon. So what will be the remaining? S, N. And instead of S and A, we have to replace epsilon because S and A both are nullable symbols. That's why what will be the remaining? N. In this way, we have to remove the epsilon productions from the given grammar. Then consider next production, that is C. C implies SI or CG. Here C gives SI or CG. In these productions, S is a non-terminal symbol. So that instead of this non-terminal symbol S, we have to replace epsilon. So what will be the remaining? I. Here we can't replace C by epsilon because C is not a nullable symbol. S is a nullable symbol. Then consider next production, that is D. D gives A, B, D or epsilon. Here D gives A, B, D. Here, see here, B is a nullable symbols are S, A, B, D. So here B is a nullable symbol. So instead of this A, we have to replace epsilon. So A, D will be remaining. D is also a nullable symbol. That's why here we have to replace the epsilon instead of D. What will be the remaining? A, B. And B and D both are nullable symbols. So instead of B, D, we have to replace the epsilon. What will be the remaining? A will be remaining. In this way we have to remove the epsilon production from the given grammar, so that final grammar after removing after eliminating or removing epsilon production is as follows. So first of all we have to write the starting non-terminal, that is, see here what will be the production after removing epsilon production. A, B, B, C, D, or A, B, B, C, D, or A, B, C, D, or A, B, C, D, or A, B, B, C, or A, B, C. Then next one is that production of A is A, M, D, or M, D, and next production is of B. B gives S, A, N, or H, N, or A, N, or S, N, or N. Then C, S, I, or C, G, or I. And last one is nothing but the D. A, B, D, A, D, or A, B, or A. In this way we have to remove the epsilon production from the given grammar. Thank you.